In this video, we'll have a discussion about the monetary inflation. We've already discussed demand pull inflation and cost push inflation. Now let's look at the third cause of inflation, which is the monetary inflation. Now, when it comes to monetaries, they are the big proponent of why inflation happens. According to them, changes in money supply results in inflation to take place. And they actually argue that if the rate of growth of money supply is greater than an increase in output, then you will see the price level to go up. And the theory does make sense, because if you look at rate of growth of money supply, so this is basically where the money supply is going up and the output is not going up, then one would argue this, that there will be more money chasing those fewer goods and services that are out there. So money supply goes up, we say there is basically excess liquidity in the market, and this excess liquidity means that there will be more spending, and this more spending would mean simply the idea that AD will go up, causing our prices or price level to go up. Now, this make sense if we are looking at a situation where the economy is already at a full employment kind of situation, where you don't have the flexibility to increase output, and as a result of that, the rise in AD due to a rise in money supply is causing a pressure on your output, and as a result your output is increasing, which means that the prices will go up. Let's see that in terms of a diagram. So when we look at this kind of a long-run aggregate supply curve, we're looking at a situation where we are already at full employment in this region. When you're looking at this region here, from let's say 0 to y1, there is still what we call unemployment available. But let's say currently our AD is somewhere here, okay, and therefore our price level is, let's call it AD naught, and let's say our price level is P naught. Now, if there is a rise in AD, if the AD curve shifts to the right, and that happens basically now, we are saying because of a rise in money supply. Because of a rise in money supply and therefore excess liquidity, more funds available for you to spend, you will see the AD to rise. And if the AD rises while the economy doesn't have the spare capacity to meet the increased sort of demand, you will see the price level to go up. This brings us to another thought, which is about the value of money. We can say the value of money, which is also called purchasing power, is inversely related to price levels. So when you look at value of money could be 1 over price level. So if the price level goes up, your purchasing power or your value of money will go down. And now we're saying this, that the reason why the price level goes up is because of a rise in money supply. So a rise in money supply causes our price level to go up, and therefore our value of money or purchasing power to go down. Another way to look at it is through our quantity theory of money. According to this theory, we establish this equation called MV equals to PT, where M is simply your money supply, which is basically the amount of money the government has decided to print. So M is your money supply.
Quick pause. If you're finding value in this explanation, there's so much more to discover. At Alt Academy, we break down every A-level concept with the same level of clarity. Now, let's continue.
V is the velocity of circulation, or number of time money is changing hands, and I'm going to talk about this in 1 minute. Then we have your P, which is your price level or the level of inflation in a country, and then comes lastly the T, or quantity, which is basically simply the total amount of output that is available. Let's say we have a simple economy where an economy is making pizzas, and let's say the economy decides to make, for example, a quantity or T of let's say 100 pizzas, right? And let's also assume that the price of each pizza is for $5. Then you can assume that the total GDP or level of output of this economy will be $500. But now I also tell you guys this, that your government has decided to print money, and they decided to have a money supply M of, let's say, $50. Now, your amount of transactions that you need to, or the value of transactions that you need to undertake, is $500. Why? Because you had 100 units of a good for $5, which means you required 500. But the government only printed $50, which means velocity in this case, or the number of times money has to change hands in order for this transaction to take place, will be PT over M, which is going to be 500 over 50, or 10 times. So money will change 10 times in order for it to make sure that $500 worth of transactions have taken place. Now, for example, let's say somebody gives me money for the services they get from me. Let's say I taught them a class and I got $10 from them. Now I'll use that $10 to, let's say, buy a packet of, for example, chewing gums. Then that would mean that my $10 is now going to change hand from one person to another, and that is how the transaction will take place. So when I say money changing hands, this means that there is some spending that I will do from the money that I've received, which is how the money is changing hands in an economy. So this is how the equation works. But how does this explain your inflation? So according to the monetarists, when you look at MV equals to PT, they argue that V and T are constant. So they argue that V and T are constant, which means they argue that V and T are not changing. And so why do they say V and T are constant? Well, they say V is basically your velocity, or number of times money is changing hands, and they argue this, that V is simply your spending pattern. It is the reason why money is changing hands, because somebody might have a spending pattern. For example, let's say if I have $10 and I'm giving it to you because I've bought something from you, so that's why money is changing hands. So V is your velocity, or number of time money is changing hands, and T is the quantity that is out there in the economy. And according to them, the spending pattern doesn't change that often. And the reason why spending pattern doesn't change that often is simply because the idea that when you look at spending pattern, this is basically changing when there is a change in lifestyle. So if there's no change in lifestyle, people have a similar kind of lifestyle. Let's say for 4 years of you going to college, your spending pattern won't change, because those 4 years your lifestyle will be the same. You're a college student and so on. So when the lifestyle doesn't change that often, velocity won't change. So we can actually say this, it's constant. And T, or quantity, depends on your factors of production, your land, labor, capital, and enterprise. And because monetarists also assumes that in the long run there will be typically full employment, so these factors of production are not going to change over time, and as a result of that, this T is also something which is constant. So if V is constant, T is constant, then automatically whenever the government is increasing money supply, right, automatically your price level will go up. So when M goes up, money supply goes up, price level goes up. So that's the view of the monetarist economists, which explain that there will be inflation that will take place because the V and T are basically constant, and money supply automatically directly makes the price level to go up.
If you found that helpful, imagine what you could achieve with the full economics course. Over 60,000 students have used All Academy to transform their A-levels journey. Don't wait and take the first step today.